Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, Senator Ruben Gallego joins us to discuss his call for the Justice Department to release the Epstein files. Also tonight, encouraging news regarding death rates from cancer. And we'll hear from a nonprofit that provides free of charge services to homebound adults and their caregivers. Those stories and more next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your public television station.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Wildfire update. The Dragon Bravo fire continues to burn at the north rim of the Grand Canyon. The fire, which destroyed the historic Grand Canyon Lodge, has burned nearly 17,000 acres and is 26% contained. It's the largest active wildfire in the U.S. National Park System. It's also the fifth largest fire at or near a national park since 2021. Other headlines, Justice Department officials met today with Ghislaine Maxwell, the longtime associate of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, a one-time friend of President Trump. Maxwell is serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking. No word on what information Maxwell could provide that isn't already in the public domain. The meeting is seen as an attempt, though, by the Trump administration to ease criticism that officials are concealing details of the president's possible interactions with Epstein. We will have more on the Epstein files with Senator Ruben Gallego, who joins us in just a moment. Wrestling superstar Hulk Hogan died today. He died of a heart attack at his home in Florida. He was 71. Hogan was a key figure in the explosive growth of professional wrestling in the 1980s and 90s. His 6'8", 300-pound presence connected with fans looking for big entertainment in more ways than one. Hogan would later appear in movies and reality TV shows and even dabble in politics. He spoke at last year's GOP convention in support of presidential candidate Donald Trump, who today, as president, called Hogan a, quote, great friend. Hulk Hogan dead at 71. And famed TV chef Anne Burrell died of suicide last month. The official cause of death was released in New York today. The authorities said Burrell was found unresponsive and surrounded by dozens of pills at her Brooklyn home on June 17th. She was a longtime fixture on the Food Network, appearing on shows ranging from Iron Chef America to Worst Cooks America and many others. Anne Burrell died at age 55. Arizona Senator Ruben Gallego today called on the U.S. Justice Department to release the Epstein files. The resolution's passage was blocked by a Republican senator from Oklahoma. Earlier today, we spoke with Senator Gallego about the resolution and other items of interest. Senator Gallego, good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time. Let's get to this resolution. You called for a release of the Epstein files. It was blocked by an Oklahoma senator. We'll get to the blockage in a second here, but why are you doing this? Why do you think these things need to be released?
Well, look, I think this needs to be released because there was a campaign and an administration for the last 8 years said that there was this cover-up that was happening of a sexual exploitation ring. And then when this president won, one of the first actions he did, he instructed his attorney general to release these files. And she said, I have this files. I'm going to release these files. And next thing you know, we see a series of continuing cover-ups. So the American public has a right to know what is actually in these files. Who are you trying to protect? Were you actually lying the whole time? Because for 8 years, this administration and his allies were accusing multiple people, hundreds of people, of being some part of some weird pedophilia ring. And so, what we're asking is for just pure honesty. Show us the Epstein files. Show us what actually is there. Doesn't matter if it's a Democrat, Republican, Independent. But stop lying and stop trying to protect some more of your elite friends. And let's get to the bottom of this.
The resolution couldn't get past an Oklahoma senator. What was the reason for that?
I tried to get through unanimous consent. He objected it and tried to say that, well, there's nothing to see here. We've been as transparent as possible as we're going to be. Offered a sham vote on the grand jury files, which the president has already tried to release. But that doesn't actually give us a full understanding what happened on Epstein's Islands, who are his guests, who are his clients, and who they're trying to cover up for.
Republicans also say that non-credible evidence should not be released. Non-credible evidence. What do you make of that?
Look, I think there's certainly ways for us to talk about that. We need to protect the victims and their identity. We need to protect any type of witnesses that came forward. And you can also, which is very common in any investigation, protect people that were not part of the actual pedophilia ring. So, but that's not what's happening here. They're just absolutely trying to stop everything from moving forward. And now, we know a couple things. We know that the president is mentioned several times in these files. We also know that this Epstein actually attended Trump's wedding. We know that he has actually spoken very fondly of both Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And now his deputy attorney general is going to go and quote unquote meet with her, something that is extremely rare. So all that we're seeing is more and more signs and evidence of a cover up, which is unnecessary. Just release what we can while protecting the innocent so the American public can make decisions for themselves.
I want to get to the budget bill. You were against it. Your quote was, rigs the system in favor of the super wealthy. Republicans say that it was necessary to fight, in their words, waste, fraud, and abuse. Talk about why you were so against it and why
Sure.
Republicans were so very much for this.
Well, this is just an ongoing thing with Republicans. Again, much like covering up the Epstein crimes. This is just them again trying to help the elites more. This tax cut, and that's what it was aimed at the top percentile of this country. They didn't go and find waste, fraud, and abuse. They first said we're going to get $880 billion worth of Medicaid cuts. And then they said it was waste, fraud, and abuse. So there are ways, obviously, for us to actually have more efficiencies. There are ways for us to make sure we deliver more health care and at a lower cost. They did none of that. So what we do know is that more than 10 million Americans are going to lose their health care because of their their greed. We know that there's going to be millions of Americans are also not going to be eligible for food stamps, again, because of their greed. And we know what's going to happen is that any tax cuts that are really aimed at the middle class are temporary. The tax cuts to the top wealthiest of this country are permanent. They even included a inheritance tax in there while they were at it. And, this whole tax cut is basically being paid on the backs of working class Americans and Arizonans, and everyone's going to feel the pain. You have hospital systems in Arizona that are going to shut down the emergency room. So even if you're not on Medicaid, you're going to see higher premiums. You're going to see lack of services because there are some places that entirely rely on that Medicaid population to keep their hospitals open.
Senator, are these cuts set in stone? I know there's appropriation funding. You got a lot of stuff coming up here by the end of September, or else you got another government shutdown facing everyone in the face. I mean, are these cuts, the rescission vote that affects us here at
Sure.
Arizona PBS, are those things set in stone, or is there still some wiggle room with these appropriations bills?
Look, you have to assume that they're set in stone. When you have businesses and nonprofits that are trying to decide what their operations are, they're going to look at where their income is coming from. And I have a hard time seeing us being able to backfill some of this, even though they have these gimmicks that doesn't start for a couple years, or there'll be a fund to pay for. But a lot of that is not going to be able to make a lick of difference to keeping some of these really, really small institutions, these really important institutions open. When I talk important institutions, I'm not just talking about rural Tucson, urban Tucson, urban Phoenix. I'm talking rural Arizona, where more than 30% of the population is on Medicaid or access, as we call it. And when those communities start losing coverage, those local hospitals are also going to start closing down and cutting coverage.
Okay, but it is, I guess I'm saying, is there a chance? Is there a slight chance? There's no, it's ball game. It's over.
We need to stop lying to ourselves. The way you reverse this is you actually have better elections. You get people elected. This whole talk of we're going to be able to turn around. They had the facts in front of them and decided to keep going forward. It's like seeing the iceberg ahead of time and saying, I'm just going to keep going straight at it with the Titanic. They were warned. They were warned by the Chamber of Commerce. They were warned by our hospital associations. They just plain don't care.
You mentioned elections. You are visiting the Iowa State Fair, I understand, from August 8th and 9th.
Got to go taste some of their corn out there.
Yeah, among other things. Traditional early stop for those with presidential ambitions. Are you interested in higher office?
Well, it used to be a traditional stop for that because Iowa used to be first in the nation. It's no longer. But I am continuing my conversation, which started in Arizona, where I had numerous stops all over Arizona, in red Arizona, talking about these horrible cuts. And we continued across the country, and Iowa is one of those stops. Why? Iowa, unfortunately, has no Democratic representation in the House or the Senate. in order for us to miraculously be able to turn this around in a couple of years, we're going to need some help. And some of that help is going to be found in Iowa. Now, you're having conversations about 2028 conversations. I'll have conversations about 2028 when we get closer to 2028. Right now, we got to focus on 2025 and 2026 because that's where the real hurt's going to be, where people are going to start losing their health care, people are going to get kicked off food stamps, and all these other ramifications that we still haven't even fully seen yet.
So again, those who say we understand why he's going there because it's the same reason that most folks go there. It's because they want to test the water, see what people are saying for 2028 for the next presidential election. And again, my question, are you interested in hire vice president, president, any of those things?
Well, the most immediate thing is, number one, being a really good senator for Arizona. Number two, we'll wait to see what the world develops like. But no matter what, it's going to be, the most important decisions are going to be made under two things. Number one, can I further my job in working for the betterment of Arizona? And number two, can I still do this and be a good dad? Because as you know, I have a 6-week-old boy now with a total of 3, and I love that job too. And so anything that's really thrown, looking downrange is really, really looking downrange for a while.
Okay, well, let's look downrange for a while. Let's say you are interested. How do Democrats, you or whomever might be running for office here, how do you win back swing voters? How do you win back working class voters?
Right.
I mean, everything right now sees the Democratic Party pretty much like a beetle on its back.
Sorry, that's pretty. Look, you're not wrong. Democrats have horrible messaging and have been messaging horribly. And we need to prove, not just say, that we're here for working class people. And what happened last cycle, without a doubt, is that we didn't want to listen because it was too scary. Now, I feel like I did. This is why I did better than most Democrats across the country. And we heard that people were hurting, and we didn't deny it. We didn't say things are getting better. I said, yeah, you're right. And I understand growing up poor, how much it hurts working so much and still feeling the stress of not being able to pay your bills or having to decide between your water or your electricity or trying to figure out if you're going to be able to have enough gas net. I felt it. It sucked. It was awful. We were very realistic about what people were worried about at the border. I think this last administration and Democrats were trying to wish cast that there wasn't a problem at the border. There was a problem at the border, and we were trying to find solutions, bipartisan solutions, whatever they were. And so whatever happens, whoever is running in a couple of years, whether it's in 2020 or 2028, needs to actually understand we're here to bring solutions to people's lives. We can't be the party that lies to the public, to voters, and think we're going to succeed in that manner. It's not in our nature. We're here to help working class people, the poor, get out of the situation they are, live the American dream. And we're not delivering that when we're just trying to ignore it, then we're going against the real DNA of who and what this party is. And until we actually answer to that, we're going to end up having problems, and you're going to have people looking for other solutions. And some solutions will be found in the Republican Party where they will scare them about something, but at least they have something to say versus us just kind of whistling through the graveyard.
U.S. Senator Ruben Gallego. Senator, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Gracias.
We want to hear from you. Submit your questions, comments, and concerns via email at arizonahorizon@asu.edu.
The death rate for cancer has noticeably decreased since the 1990s. Reasons include advancements in screening and treatments, but are there other factors leading to the encouraging numbers? Joining us now is Dr. Josh LaBaer, Executive Director of ASU's Biodesign Institute. It's always a pleasure. Good to see you, sir.
It's good to see you as well.
All right, the death rate for cancer decreasing since the 1990s. I'm going to guess smoking plays a big part here.
For sure, that's a big effect. The smoking rates have dropped initially with men and then eventually with women, and so we've seen a drop in lung cancer in both. But we're seeing it in a lot of cancers. We're seeing breast cancer mortality going down, colon cancer mortality going down.
Screening, what's going on here?
Yeah, I think those are that's a big effect, right? So we know that the earlier we detect cancer, the better chance we have of curing it. And so we do mammography for women for breast cancer. We do colonoscopies for people for colon cancer. So that's without a doubt a big effect.
Are those the two biggies as far as screening is concerned? The most important, maybe not the most important, but the screenings that have the best impact? I
would say, I think prostate cancer with the PSA test is also an effect. And More recently now, people are beginning to do CT scans in heavy smokers, and that may also lead to a benefit as well, although not as clear as the others.
CT scans looking for cancer anywhere or mostly lungs?
Lungs in the
Yeah.
heavy smokers, yeah.
Okay. Those are, screenings and things. Let's talk about treatment, because we talk a lot about treatment on this show.
Right.
We've had so many, and they seem like they're always encouraging stories. Why these advancements? What's going on out there?
Right. So it's been a long road. The war on cancer started in the mid-'70s, and people have put a lot of time and effort, a lot of research in universities to try to understand the molecular pathways that cause cancer. And we have over time been getting better and better at treating this disease. Initially, it was the kind of classic chemotherapy that everyone's kind of familiar with. But over time, as we understand the molecular pathways that cause the disease, we've been able to very specifically target those pathways. And so we're coming up with drugs that are less toxic, that make people feel less ill, and yet still stop the cancers. And so the combination of all of those factors have led to better cure rates.
And that what you're talking about is development of cancer, or are you talking about the actual cause, the initial point of cancer?
Well, we understand the causes of cancer, but we're developing drugs to interrupt them. So we're trying to block the pathways that make cancers do the things that they do.
What's the latest in that?
Well, probably the biggest one, of course, is immunotherapies.
Yes.
Those emerged in the mid-2010s, if you will, the teens. And these are drugs that basically augment the body's own immune system and enable it to fight the cancer and kill it. And we've seen some remarkable outcomes. The classic one, of course, that we all know is President Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
Who was diagnosed with a disease that when I became an oncologist, that disease was a 6-month prognosis. People with malignant melanoma had a very poor outcome. And he went on to live a decade after his diagnosis and almost certainly was cured of it.
Well, it's interesting you bring up immunotherapy, because when it first started, man, we did so many shows on that, and it was very encouraging, lots of positivity. I haven't heard that much about it lately. Is that because it has become almost mainstream?
It is mainstream. I would say not for every cancer and certainly not for every patient, because not everybody responds. But it is routinely done in numerous cancers now.
Which cancers are doing the best right now? Which cancers still need some work?
Well, and it's a little bit of a mix. So I would say breast cancer has certainly seen a lot of improvement. A lot of that has to do with early detection. If a woman is detected with a small tumor with no evident metastasis or any spread, she's probably, on almost 100% 5-year survival if it's a stage 1 cancer and maybe even an early stage 2 cancer. So really very encouraging in that disease. We've certainly gotten better with colon cancer because of colonoscopy and early detection there. If we catch those tumors small, they can be removed at the time of the colonoscopy and people never hear from it again. But there are forms of breast cancer where it's not as encouraging. Triple negative disease is still a challenge.
Yeah.
Lung cancer is still a challenge, even though we can detect some of those tumors earlier. Pancreatic cancer is a very difficult cancer to treat.
Yeah, and again, this sounds like detection is playing a big part
Yes.
in the treatment. But once these things are detected, are there treatments that that some cancers seem like they're more amenable to as opposed to others?
Yes, I mean, again, some of the tumors like the breast cancer, there are good regimens for that. In the case of melanoma, if you happen to have a immunotherapy responsive disease, the outcomes can be very good. For those that don't respond well to the immunotherapies, then it's a much more challenging illness. So, that's where the fight needs to continue. We need to understand why some people fail.
And is it a question of fighting one cancer and using the techniques, what you've learned, to fight another cancer? Or is this, because I know you're very big as far as individual, treatments and these sorts of personalized
Right.
therapies, if you will. Personalized therapies kind of the way of the future, or are we the other side going?
It is. In fact, some people like to call it, instead of personalized, precision therapies.
There you go.
It's a term that some people prefer to use, and in part because while when I went to medical school and then later became an oncologist, there was breast cancer. But now we know breast cancer is 5 or 6 at least different diseases based on the molecules that define those different cancers. So we need to actually look not just at the fact that it started in the breast, but what are the molecular pathways that define that tumor, and then we can come up with better therapies for it.
Last question before you go. What excites you most right now as far as cancer treatment, therapies, diagnosis, all of it?
I think I think this whole approach to looking at the molecular pathways and perhaps finding better ways to stimulate the immune system to help augment a patient's ability to fight that tumor, I think those are areas where we've got a lot of promise.
Yeah, very good. Dr. Josh LeBaer, again, ASU Biodesign Institute. Good to have you here.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much.
A local nonprofit called Duet Partners in Health and Aging is working on providing services free of charge to homebound adults and family caregivers. To learn more, we welcome Duet's Executive Director, Ann Wheat. Good to have you here.
Thank you. It's very nice to be here.
You betcha. All right, so Duet Partners in Health and Aging. Give me a better definition of who you are and what you're doing.
Duet was founded in 1981, actually, by the Reverend Dr. Dosha Carlson. In her pastoral work, she was visiting a lot of older adults in very dire, heartbreaking circumstances. She referred to them as the invisible elderly, and she decided she was going to do something about it. So in 1981, she started what was called Beatitude Center Door at the time. Many folks will recognize that name, but we are now Duet Partners in Health and Aging. Our mission is to improve health and well-being through our essential services for vulnerable older adults. And we do that in 3 core areas. We support family caregivers of adults. We support kinship families. So these are primarily grandparents who take on raising their grandchildren after they've been taken away from the parents due to abuse or neglect. And then our 3rd program, which was the first service that Dosha started, is volunteer support for homebound older adults. And the typical older adult we serve is an 85-year-old woman living alone on a fixed income of about $1,500. They have multiple chronic health conditions, but they want to stay in their home where their memories are.
And it sounds like it's a one person helping another person, kind of a one-on-one sort of thing. Am I getting that right?
You've got that right. It's a duet of services. One person helping another person with respect and compassion.
Yeah, that's where the duet comes. I was kind of wondering where duet comes in.
That's where it came from.
Okay, all right. So we're talking about everything from rides to doctor appointments, rides to the grocery store, just basically being there to talk, and all of that?
Sure, it's really all of that. Just to put this in perspective, that the volunteers for Duet are the heart of our organization. We have 19 staff and over 400 active volunteers.
Wow.
And the majority of those volunteers are providing transportation, rides to grocery stores, friendly visits, help with paperwork or even paying bills, and just being a good friend and neighbor to the folks we serve. We call them our neighbors.
Yes.
Some of these relationships have lasted 30 years.
Wow.
And it makes all the difference for that person who may never see anyone else, in their isolated lives, and their volunteer becomes their friend. And the services make it possible for them to stay in their homes like 3 to 5 years longer.
Do you have problems with volunteers when it's the summertime and a lot of folks want to get out of here, including some of these volunteers?
We do. I'm glad you asked that. We had last year about a little under 300 active volunteers throughout the year, serving over 430 homebound neighbors. In summertime, of course, many of these are folks who are retired, and they will leave town. I checked with our team, and it's anywhere from 20 to 25% who will either be on fairly lengthy vacations, or about 10% of our volunteers are gone for the entire summer.
Yeah.
And to put it into perspective, we have 229 adults on our wait list right now, just waiting for services.
Wow.
We try to make sure even those on our wait list get rides to doctor's appointments.
Yes.
So the need in the summertime for folks to volunteer and help us out is significant.
With that in mind, where can people go to learn more about your organization and how to volunteer?
They can, it's very easy. We have one phone number, 602-274-5022. And our website is duetaz.org.
Duetaz.org.
Yes.
All right, very good. Ann Wheat, congratulations on this. Continued success must be very rewarding for you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
You bet. And that is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.